Welcome to today's edition of Mental Health Matters. Today, we're going to be focusing on mental health matters in regard to Mental Health Awareness Month. Get you something to drink, get you a snack, and come on back. Good morning, Diana Garcia.
Good
How's it going?
morning, Jesse. How are you?
Tired. I got up, stayed up late last night, of course, and got up early, worked out, and I'm here. So,
Yay.
starting my weekend.
Yay.
How was your morning?
Yeah, I woke up a little bit behind. I was like, oh no, hurry up, get up.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was
Right.
all good.
All right.
All good.
The weather's changed. So yesterday it was it was warm, and I know today it's a little bit chilly outside. It's supposed to be 71 degrees.
There's a little bit of wind too. I
Yeah,
had the window open. I mean, the window and the doors open this morning. I'm like, oh, I gotta close those. That's too cold.
yeah, yeah. Me too. Yeah,
I
me
was like,
too.
oh, I like the fresh air, but not when it's cold.
Yes, yes. Sometimes when it gets like that, if I have too many open, I'll close the rest of them and maybe leave one open, but just leave it maybe a little less than halfway up, so that I could
And
still get it.
I have one window open just to get a cross breeze going, but it's
Nice.
too cold to have the front and back door open because
Oh yeah.
yeah, I like to just air out the place, but it's too
Yeah.
cold.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Dana, why don't we start with you? You could just reintroduce yourself and we will go from there.
Hi, my name is Diana Garcia. Um, I'm a housing coordinator in Placer County for a nonprofit. And why are you looking at me like that? Like, are you going to say something else part of that? I'm a program manager. I just got promoted, so I'm a program supervisor. I guess I should correct my title.
Yeah.
And I work with adult protective services and I work with special programs. And I'm excited to be here. Hi, Jesse.
Nice. Nice, nice. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Dad, you have such a good personality. Just, when you're around people who could just make you laugh and brighten your day, and it just always brings like this positive energy, no matter where they see you at. That's a gift. That's definitely a gift, especially in the line of work that we work in, so to speak. So,
Oh, absolutely. And I think there has to be that
yeah,
because if you don't, then you can get jaded really quickly. And also, I mean, we go through a lot of not very good stories and see a lot of people
yeah,
in really bad situations, but they can't know that it's just all bad when you're
right,
talking to them.
exactly,
You can't
exactly.
just come across like, oh my gosh, man, you really got issues. You
Yeah,
you have to really show that there's a lifeline to
e-
assist them in whatever they're working on or whatever they're
exactly,
going through. And
exactly.
well, it's so funny because when I train the housing coordinators and we go to meet clients for the first time, or they come to see us, and I before I see them because we have to do paperwork, of course,
Yeah,
that's just part of the job. Um, I said we have to. I said we have to make sure that they understand the paperwork. I know it's mundane, but we
yeah,
go through the paperwork, and then that way they have a chance to talk too. So we
yeah,
they're going through,
mhm,
and maybe there's some resources that we can assist them with.
yeah,
And usually after when I have new housing coordinators, the first thing I say to them, I said, okay, don't be surprised if they start crying or
uh-huh,
if they hug me afterwards.
yeah,
I
yeah,
said if that happens, then I know that I've reached them and I've heard what they've had to say because
yes,
there's a lot of listening and you not the whole listening depending on somebody that goes on and on, but you have to listen to what's going on with them. At least I think we do. because you can't just get the paperwork done and just move on to the next thing, because then you're not going to get you're not going to get the whole story
Hmm.
and about that person.
Hmm.
And we got a lot of resources in Placer County, and
Yeah.
my hope is always that we can assist and give resources to whatever that person or family is going through at that time.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. I think that what you said is absolutely 100% correct, because whenever you're dealing with people who you're trying to assist in any situation, especially if mental health is involved, it is important to communicate with them exactly what the process is, exactly what they're getting themselves into, or exactly what they're being assisted with, and in return, we need to be attentive to what they're saying, their feelings, their emotions. Because sometimes, I mean, I've known people who have did assessment, so to speak, and paperwork, and they would do it like in 20 minutes. And when the particular
That's
client, it's horrible,
that
right?
that is not good, because
No.
I've had, when I've done trainings with new coordinators, housing coordinators, they're like, oh my gosh, that took longer than I thought. I thought we
Yeah.
were just supposed to go in there, have them sign the paperwork, get them
No.
in there, get them. I'm like,
No.
no. I said a lot of times, especially when these people are, or families are here for the first time in this situation, I said we don't know
Yes.
what their situation is.
Exactly.
Not
Exactly.
everybody's the same. So,
Exactly.
and we might be the first line of, in the chain of what could assist them.
Yeah.
And if we can find out, and talk to them about what's going on in their lives,
Yes.
just signing paperwork's not going to do that. You have to
Exactly.
engage,
Hmm.
and people know that if you're just there just to do the paperwork,
Yes.
or if you're there and you really, you would like to assist in some way.
Yeah.
Of course, we deal with a lot of people with mental health, so there's a little bit of, you got to make sure you understand that part of the equation too. But when you
Exactly.
have people that are coming in that have never been through anything with services in Placer County or Nevada
Yeah.
County, you have to take the time, at least I believe so, to be, a proactive and an active person to assist that person.
Yeah.
It's not just about the paperwork, even though a lot of people might think it is. Hurry, sign this and get out of here.
Yeah.
That's, to me, that's
Yeah.
not how it works. So I try to connect,
Yeah.
and I try to see that they know that I'm listening to them, and that way you get the honest of what's happening, whether it's good what's happening or bad that's happening.
Yeah.
You have to know
Yeah.
all of the good and the bad to
Yeah.
to see if there's something you can assist them with.
Yeah. And I think that's across the board, regardless of what county that we're in, Sacramento, Placer, Yellow, because it's the same work, but in different location.
Correct.
And
Correct.
so that's one of the things I do try to get across to people that work closely with me. Like, I'm very upfront and I'm very firm on, this is about meeting the client's need. They are coming to us for whatever type of support they need, and we need to show up as best as we could to meet their needs. You
Well,
know.
absolutely, absolutely, because every individual and family is going to be different.
Hmm.
You can't
Absolutely.
just have okay, this is the model that we have, and this is
Right.
how we do things. It's not going
Yeah.
to work that way,
Yeah.
uh, because you're dealing with
Absolutely.
humans and
Hmm.
people with different situations. So
Exactly.
it's a tough situation, but we just got to keep, have a little positivity there when you have a really good success in something that's happening. You got to really celebrate it.
Oh, yeah.
And we do that,
Absolutely.
especially with when we're housing clients, and especially difficult clients.
Yeah.
It's a celebration, and we talk about those things in staff
Yeah.
meetings, because you
It,
have to celebrate those things.
100%, 100%. And patience. I know at one point there was a situation with a client, and this individual literally had given up on life. When I say up on life, and folks that did everything they could do to help this person. I mean, was there every day, and the person stopped eating, stopped showering, and then this individual actually left became missing. And one of the other team members ran into this individual just so happened when they were off the clock. They were just going grocery shopping. They ran into this individual while he was off the clock.
Which
Uh,
happens in our community.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the individual talked with this individual and was able to convince, the person to come back. The person came back and, the team, they worked with her, worked with the person, worked with the person, and 9 day, 9 day. When
Mhm.
I say 9 day, night and day, she has so much gratitude, for the team because of the work that they put in. We was very tenacious. We weren't giving up. And this individual moved into PSH now.
Oh,
You,
great.
you
That's
know,
really great.
yeah,
Yeah, because it's hard, especially with mental health issues. And
yeah,
that's something that I always try to touch on when I'm dealing with individuals and talking to them because it's such a stigma.
yeah,
And then to get help
yeah,
or get assistance or even be evaluated. I mean, I don't know. I think they think that uh the county or someone's going to just lock them up and throw away the key or
yeah,
something. They get really, really scared.
yeah,
So I'm so glad that that person still would engage, even not at the facility or wherever they were at.
yeah,
And I think as us as the working bees, so to speak, when we're out in the community, just because we're not on the clock doesn't mean that we're not going to see somebody
oh
that
yeah,
we've worked with and they may have questions. Or you can't just say, oh, I'm not, call me back at,
uh-huh.
you
It,
know,
it's
you
it's
can't do
funny.
that because you're going to lose that connection for one.
Uh-huh. Yes,
You're not going to have that same attitude when they're at least, having the little olive branch come out and you have that
uh-huh.
communication that started. So,
Exactly.
I mean, it's tough work, but you know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of good things too.
Yes. It's funny because I ran into somebody last night, client, and they were out with somebody, and I didn't even see this individual. They walked up to me, spoke. It was just a regular conversation, and hey, how's it going? Oh, da, da, da. But we both know where we knew we both knew where we know each other from.
Uh-huh.
So it was just that, nothing, and we,
You don't
keep
have to say
moving.
anything else, just acknowledgement.
That's it. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
just,
because
hey, how's it
you got
going?
the release of information,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
HIPAA, and
yeah.
you
That's
you
it.
don't and you
Yeah,
don't know whoever they're with. You
right.
think, oh,
Yeah, right. That's what I said. Just speak. Hey, how's it going? How your night going? It's going okay. Oh, okay. Take care. Boom. Quick, quick, boom. Exactly. So, but I thought that was interesting. You brought that up. So, Dan, why is it important to take care of our mental health as a society? Why is it important that we take care of our mental health as a society?
well, that has so many variables there because we have, our society needs to be productive, and if as much as they can, and everybody has trials and tributes, but some have more than the average person.
Yeah,
And those people that need assistance in mental health should, I would hope, reach out to somebody that they trust.
yeah,
If they can't reach out to a county assistance, but at least reach out to somebody that they know,
yeah,
so they may be able to direct them somewhere, because someone going down that deep, deep, dark hole, so to speak, and not getting the help that they need, it's going to affect the whole family, the whole
hmm,
community, everybody,
hmm,
because there's a member of our society that needs a life jacket,
yeah,
and if we don't put those life jackets out there, then they're all going to sink, and it's not going to help our society, I
yeah,
believe.
yeah. No, I get that. What do you think about? So, what about us or professionals like you and I that have things come up in our personal life and that's, outside of work? How do we take care of our mental health and put into practice what we do Monday through Friday in our own personal life?
Well, the thing is we have to have something to we have to be able to reset.
Hmm.
We have to be able to, in some way, in whatever we like to do, we have to be able to have that place where we can decompress. You have to be able to, and I believe you have to do it every day.
Yeah.
Uh, Whether it's meditation, it's working out, going for walks, being outside. Right now it's cold, but I like to be outside a lot
Yeah.
on a regular day. And I have a dog, so we go for walks. And
Yeah.
my ideal would just to be play golf every day, but that's that costly.
I know. I know.
But you have to do something every day to reset. Otherwise, I think it makes you jaded, and you don't want to do. It's just like, oh gosh, why am I doing this work? It's
Yeah.
oh, and then it affects not only you, but who's in your circle, so to speak, your family and
Mhm.
friends.
Mhm.
And then if you see somebody that's outside of work, especially a family or friend that's going through an issue, it's really hard because it's hard to that hat that you have when
Yeah.
you're at work. You get
Yeah.
even though you try to take that hat off when you leave work, but if you have a family or a friend that's in that crisis, that hat comes back on.
Yeah.
And you still have to have a little reset, even if you know a family member or a friend is going through an issue.
Yeah. Right now, I have a situation going on where how could I put this? Someone that I care for dearly, I'm gonna put it like that, is in an unhealthy situation, but the individual does not know that the situation is unhealthy. And this individual is 23, my loved one, and they are real close with somebody who's in their mid 50s at work.
Holy moly!
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about this. And so oh yeah, so yeah, we're gonna break this down. Maybe you might give me some advice.
Oh, I sure will try.
Yeah. And so my loved one met this individual at a previous job. And so they got acquainted that way. And so the older lady, she ended up quitting, but they stayed in contact with each other. And that was that. And so I didn't know that they was really, quote unquote, whatever, friends. And so my lawnmower kind of told me about it. He was like, "Oh, well, I think you should meet this person." Da da da. Well, I said, "Okay, fine." So he set it up. We was all supposed to meet. Uh, she flaked. So I'm like, "Oh,
Oh,
okay." Things come up and blah 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 blah. And he was like, "Yeah, I want you to really meet her. She's cool." Blah 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 blah. So up again, she flaked.
oh,
And
red flag, red flag,
oh yeah. Oh, it gets
red
better.
flag.
It gets better. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And so she ended up quitting her job or whatever because she didn't like the supervisor. But they still stayed in contact and stuff. So he ended up finding another job at another place doing the same thing, and she got a job higher at the job that he went to.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, so she's back in the picture and all that. So as time went on, I noticed that like when they off work, they're talking, texting throughout the day, and at first I wasn't really paying attention, to be honest with you. But as he started to share things with me, it was kind of like, okay, now you got to start paying attention here because this is on your radar. Because at first it was just, oh, okay, blah 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 blah. And she's manipulating him. She's definitely manipulating him. She's telling him things. But first of all, she was like, "Oh well, she's crying and wish that she got 4 kids, by the way.
Oh, oh,
That's
dang.
that's his age, okay? So she's crying and wishing that her son was more like him, and she's telling him, "Oh, I love the type of person you are," and girl, it's just crazy. And she told him one day that that she went to jail. Well, let me tell you a story. So she told me
Oh,
went to jail. So allegedly somebody in her family was dead wrong by someone that they knew. So the person that did the family member wrong did not confess to it. So she took it upon herself to do harm, bodily harm to the individual. She said that she stabbed them and all this stuff. So
oh my gosh,
yeah,
stab?
that's what she said. So allegedly, they took her to jail, and then when the family friend said, "Oh, I did it," then they let her out. I said, well, that don't sound right to me. I said, because if you commit an attempt murder, they're not just going to let you out of jail like that.
Yeah, the story doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so it's just the red flags like this. There was another situation where another coworker here, a female at work, that was, kind of coming on to him, you know, whatever. And so she found out about it and she went and confronted the girl. Don't ever talk to him like that and da da da, without my brother even being around. So that was a red flag. But 2 weeks later, another coworker said to them, "Oh, said to my brother in front of her, oh, that's your work wife." And my brother spoke up, but she ain't had nothing to say. So you see where this is going. So
Yeah.
he's talked to her daughters, and because at first I thought, well, maybe he's trying to talk to her daughter because they're the same age. That's not the case. And but she refused to meet me. She keep flaking and stuff. So,
Well, you know why.
oh, of course. Oh, of course. Oh, of course. And this has been really, 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 really been bothering me because he doesn't see it. He does not. He 100% doesn't see it. He feels like she is the rose that fell out of the sky. And
Oh man,
I
she's got him hooked, line
yeah,
and sinker.
yeah. I will say this though. Um, my brother's very like honest and open. I don't think that there's nothing on his end. Is what I'm saying.
Hmm.
I think he's just naive and gullible and vulnerable. Like he just look at this person like, oh, it's a workplace mom. She cool. Blah 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 blah. That's how I really believe that's how he's looking at it. But she has her own motives.
Of course.
Yeah, she got her own
Of
motives.
course.
And I wanted to try to really work with him on just being wise, just being smart. Watch what you say. Sit back and listen. Pay attention. You know.
That's about all you can do in a
Yeah.
situation like that. Because when somebody's hook, line, and sinker, you could sit there and do a dance and stand on your head.
Yeah.
If they don't believe you or they don't think that that's really happening, nothing's going to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Especially a 23-year-old male, because
Yeah.
their brains, they don't really form until
Yeah.
they're like 25, 26.
Yeah.
And of course they have to do their own way of learning things.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, those old school hard knocks, that's
Yeah.
what will happen.
Yeah.
But my advice to you is to just be there with him,
Yeah.
and because the more that you try to knock her down, it
Yeah.
might take move him closer to her.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
And
Yeah.
so if you have that, he, especially if he's communicating to you what's happening,
Yeah.
just bring these things to, my opinion is this,
Yeah.
and not make it so harsh, because if
Yeah.
you do, you're gonna lose, and then he's not gonna talk to you about it.
Yeah. I agree.
He won't
Agree.
feel comfortable to talk to you. It's like, oh, I'm not gonna tell him anything. I'm not
Yeah.
telling Jesse anything because he's just putting down
Yeah.
my friend and
Right.
whatever else she is,
Right.
and and he's getting something from her,
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yes.
But
100%.
but if you don't, but if you knock it, knock it, knock it, knock it, knock it,
Mhm.
he's gonna close the channel, so to speak, on your communication to see what's happening.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
then if something really bad happens,
Yeah.
especially since this lady is sounds like she's a liar and a manipulator and everything else, and
Yeah.
just to keep
Mm.
your brother safe, at least
Yeah.
if you're in the chain and thread of what's happening, you can keep an eye out. But um it's really, and just bring those things up. Hopefully, well, eventually he'll understand and
Yeah.
he'll see it, but
Yeah.
until he sees it,
Right.
there's nothing you can really do.
Yeah, exactly. And that is something I know. And I tell myself just, but the more he tells me, and I know I need to know, I honestly, I think to myself, like, how do you not know this? Like, you're
Mm.
my brother. Like,
It's easy. It's easy though, Jesse, because
yeah,
when you're walking that path and you're feeling all these feelings and you feel this person is this, that, and whatever,
yeah,
when you're in that little circus, so to speak, you don't see anything else. because
Yeah.
all you see is what good they're bringing to you,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
what's happening to you and how that person's making you feel.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure she just build him up, build him up, build him
Oh
up,
yeah.
and
Oh
making him
yeah.
feel like he's the the
Yeah.
greatest. And
Yes.
and that's nice for the ego, but eventually he'll come to terms with that, especially since he's been with you and has your foundation and your values. It'll come to fruition that
Yeah.
he'll see it, but just being a little patient with that. And it's
Yeah.
hard because you're like, what's wrong with you? And you can't
Yes.
do that because then you'll shut him out,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
don't want that, because
Yeah.
if she does something that's really really bad,
Yeah.
then or hooks him into something really bad, because
Yeah.
people like that are, how you have those wives that are gets have relationships outside of their marriage, and then they have
Yeah.
them kill their husband and say, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't tell him to do that. you
Yeah.
know that's the kind of people that you have to watch out for, and that's what this lady sounds like. But
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
just keep your eye and your ear open, and have your opinions.
Yeah.
But eventually, I think eventually he'll be okay, because you've given him that foundation, so he has those seeds. They will
Yeah.
blossom.
Yeah. Okay. That's good advice. So I feel that this was a really good conversation, because I do like to be transparent, but yeah, I've been taking my own little steps to deal with that. And but you're right, I do need to talk less, be slow to speak and quick to hear in situations like that. And this is where my wisdom come in. That um, allegedly she told him, "Oh, I'll meet your brother tomorrow, which is today," which I know is not going to happen.
So is
Uh,
this what, the fourth time?
yeah, it's not going to happen. So,
Well, because you're gonna say something, and she knows that you'll say something to her that
and
will
he
blow.
knows it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. 100%. I'm actually, if it happened, I'm going to ask him to step out the room. I'm like, let me, talk to her alone. Oh yeah, 100%. Because I'm the first time I ask him, like, what's your motive and intentions with my brother? He's 23, you're 55. Like, and that's how the conversation's going to go. I just want to know, and of course I.
And I'm sure your brother has told her
Oh
that
yeah,
you that what kind of person you are. And so
100%.
that's why she's not showing up, because she knows that she's gonna be, her feet are gonna be set to the coals, so to speak. But
Oh yeah.
and so
Oh yeah.
she's just
Yeah.
she's just using your brother for, well, they're both using each other
Uh-huh. Right.
for whatever needs that are being filled at this time. But it's
Exactly.
hard, because when you see somebody, especially a loved one, that's doing something, it's like, oh my gosh, how do you not see this? How do you
Yeah.
accept this behavior?
Especially being so young though.
I
You,
know,
you
but
know what I'm
that's the
saying?
hard part, because
Yeah.
he is young and he doesn't have all those experience to
Mhm.
make him or understand what people do,
Yeah.
the different personalities. I
Yeah.
mean, like you and I, we've been on a journey, so we've been
Yeah.
through a lot of
Yeah.
personalities. I mean, at
Yes.
the beginning, of course, we didn't know
Hmm.
what was. I mean, we were just going by what feels good.
Hmm.
But you have to be able to manage that and understand. Just because somebody's stroking your ego doesn't mean that it's a good person. You have to look
Yeah.
at the whole picture
Yeah.
as to what kind of person this is.
Yeah. And he does not at all. He's
Well, it's
very,
it's it's life lessons, and
yeah.
hopefully he doesn't get hurt too bad by this.
Yeah.
But he will learn, because you've
Oh
given
yeah.
him the seeds.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Plus, he knows that he can talk to you when
Yeah.
things come crumbling down.
Yeah.
He knows that
Yeah.
you'll still be there, even though he knows that you don't agree with this
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah. 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 I may end up popping up at the job one day. Just bring him lunch.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, just
There's
bring him
nothing wrong.
lunch. Yeah.
You know where she works.
Right. You're right.
Especially when you hear something like, "Oh my gosh, this
Yeah.
is really escalating."
Yeah.
I mean, at
Right.
least you know where she's at
Yeah.
as of right now. So if she changes jobs, like she changes her underwear, so to speak,
Yeah.
then that'll be hard. But at least you know where she's at right now.
Well, yeah. I might just pop up one day. Hey, brother, I was in the neighborhood. I brought you some Wendy's.
Hey, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. All
I
right.
brought I brought your friend a little ice cream. Let
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
see her.
Yeah. Exactly. Hey, where the co-worker at? And I'm here now. Is they in the building? Bring them by it. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what's going to end up happening. And he's going to know exactly what I'm doing when I pop up. Watch. Oh man. All right. So down when a person is living in recovery, is it about them or is it about other people?
Man, that's a good question. It's about the individual.
Yes.
Because when they're in recovery, the hope is that they're in a positive program and they're able to help themselves in situations that they're going to have to be at when
Yeah.
they leave. And hopefully, when they're in recovery and they're learning the tools, I always have toolbox, getting some tools in that toolbox to help you in situations that are not only in a program, so to speak, but also to get those tools and to understand those tools when you're out in the real world. So I believe that's what recovery is about. It's
Yeah.
about, making sure that you hopefully learn and understand the tools that are needed during different situations,
Yeah.
because we have so many different situations, regardless of what we're all going through, and to
Yeah.
know what those triggers are. It's to make sure you don't go down that rabbit hole, so to speak.
Yeah. A while back, when I first started having people like loved ones of his family and friends that was get hooked on drugs or not doing well mentally. And I remember times when I was like trying to push them, push them, push them, push them, but they weren't ready.
Mm-mm.
And when they got ready and started living in recovery, inwardly I had given up on them because I had given so much.
Hmm.
And I realized as time went on that I was making that about myself and not them.
Correct, correct. Because it's hard, and it's a hard thing to
Yeah,
do. My dad was an alcoholic,
yeah,
and he went through recovery. I don't know how many times, more times than I can count on my fingers and toes. So every time he would go, I was like, yeah, whatever. I
yeah,
didn't believe him.
right.
Uh, and he would do these recovery things, and it's like, man, what a waste of money. I always thought it was a waste of money because it's like,
Yeah,
oh, he's not going to change his behavior.
yeah,
But
yeah,
one time he went and came out, and it always recovery when they come back, it's stays good for a couple months and then
yeah,
they'll go back. I
yeah,
figured that's the way it was going to be because that's how it's always been. That's just their history.
yeah.
But then when the last time he was able to quit,
Wow.
and it was quite amazing because I never thought I would see my dad as sober,
Yeah,
and he was.
yeah,
The
yeah,
last 10 years of his life, he was sober,
yeah,
lived a sober life, and I did not expect that at all. And it was quite amazing, actually, because I didn't think it was possible. Whenever people talked about recovery, I'm like, oh, that don't work. It's just
yeah,
BS. But
yeah, yeah.
but they have to be ready. And even
Mhm.
though they might be ready when they initially go in, when you're doing that hard work that happens, and what the situation is that started all that, or whatever their advice was, that's the hard part, because
Yeah.
once you're not being numb anymore, so to speak, then you have to face those things. And that's
Yeah.
something that I learned from my dad in that regard, because if I'm going through something stressful or something life changing or something really bad, I won't drink,
Oh, wow.
because I know that if I drink, then I because the alcoholism runs in my family,
Yeah.
I know that that can put me down that path.
Yeah.
So I don't drink during that time when I'm really hurting.
Yeah.
And so I can feel, I always say you have to feel it in order to heal it. So,
Wow.
and so even when because I was a 3 pack a day smoker,
Yeah.
and when I quit, I knew that I couldn't drink. So I didn't drink for 5 years after I quit smoking, because I knew that I
Wow.
wouldn't be able to control that urge,
Yeah.
because of course, alcohol makes you want to have fun and do all kinds
Right.
of fun things, but so I knew that I couldn't drink
Yeah.
when I quit smoking, and
Yeah.
But it's, when you go down that, I know that runs in my family, so I know I have to be careful.
Yeah. Wow. That's interesting. That's an interesting outlook on the way you handled that situation because a lot of people don't have the mindset or the strength to be able to pull something like that off because to be honest, let's look at our society. It's one or the other, or more than that, to cope with hurt and stress and things like that. I like that. I like that method because you know yourself.
Well, because I saw
Yeah,
what it did to my dad. I
yeah,
saw how, how much it destroyed and hit not only his with his relationships with different people, but just in himself. Because
uh,
he was a really positive, good guy. I mean, he wasn't a mean drunk by any means, but he would it would really affect his jobs because if he went on a binge, he could lose his job.
wow.
So, but we in fact when we were kids, we always liked it when he came home drunk because he always brought us a chocolate bar or something.
Okay. And even exchange.
He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, drink that. Just bring us a chocolate
he,
bar.
it's like, oh my gosh, he always had four chocolate bars because there was four of us,
Yeah,
and or whatever a treat, and usually he got it at the bar. I'm thinking because it looked like bar treats now that I think back, but
yeah.
and my mom would, I'm like, oh good, Dad brought us some. She's like, oh yeah, but you guys needed milk, and he brings you chocolate bars, and I'm like, but those are good.
Yeah.
As a little kid, that's what you think,
Yeah.
yum, yay, Dad, but
That is so funny.
but it's the guilt of it, and that's what happens. And so I mean, even though my dad was an alcoholic, it wasn't really bad in terms of abuse in that regard as far as
Yeah.
physical, but I saw him, and it really helped me in my journey as an adult. So
Yeah. It's interesting you talked about that, about if he would have went on the bench or whatever, it would affect his job. I know somebody who um used to be an alcoholic, and I'm telling you, this individual will work, will work and work, and then he'll lose his job, be off work for a little bit, and go back to the same job, drink, 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 and I mean off and on. And I don't
mm,
know how he was able to. I don't know. I just don't know how he was able to just like go back to that same job after being on a binge spree, drinking spree, you know. But for some reason, he had the gift of gab too. So he was able to get back up in there and he'll do well for maybe like 8 months, 6 months, and same thing.
that
Yeah,
that yeah, that's how my dad was. He did it
yeah,
in benches, and
yeah,
it's like I don't know what would happen. I don't know what would trigger him in that regard, but it wasn't every day when some people when they talk about alcoholism, he would
yeah,
just do benches. and
yeah,
and it's weird how there's different ways of when people do drugs, how they are, because most people just think, oh, they do this every day. Some people do, but
yeah,
not everybody does.
exactly.
Something might trigger where they start, this is what their coping mechanism is, and that's whatever their drug of choice is.
Yeah,
And so that happens a lot,
yeah,
and I didn't realize that. I just thought once you do drugs or you're an alcoholic, you can't stop ever. There's no way to stop that, but there
yeah.
is. And I didn't understand that too when I quit smoking. I didn't realize I was addicted. I mean, duh, 3 packs a day.
Right.
But when you're in it, you don't
Right.
realize, because and you just, and it was, I'm like, oh my gosh. And then it pissed me off because the tobacco companies, they put stuff in there to make it more addicting. And
Yeah.
that pissed me off. So
Yeah.
that started the process there.
Yeah.
I'm
That
like, damn, these people, they did it on purpose. That makes me mad.
So you can't just skip past it. You said that you smoking 3 packs a day, but you didn't know you was addicted.
I swear I didn't know. I did not know. I was really I thought, oh, whatever. This is not a
Yeah.
big deal
Hmm.
until my oldest niece at the time, they teach you in school that smoking's bad for you.
Yeah.
So I don't know, she was 7 or 7, 6, 7, whatever. Then she came home because I helped my sister with the kids because her husband, deadbeat dad, whatever. And so she came and she's like, Aunt Diana, she goes, you need to quit smoking because you're gonna die. And I'm like, well, baby, we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
Right, not a good response. But I was like, oh my God, why is this little one picking on me about my smoking? And she's all, I'm serious, Aunt Diana, you need to quit smoking. And I'm like, okay, I said I will. And then for her birthday, little poop, she goes, all I want for my birthday from you is to quit smoking. And I'm like, really? I
Wow.
said, when you turn 16, I'll buy you a car. How about if Aunt Diana does that? And then she started crying. She's all, it's not funny.
Oh man.
And so then I go, okay, for your birthday, I'll quit smoking. So then I tried to quit, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I really am addicted to this. And then her little sister, who is also my goddaughter, she was like my little shadow. She followed me everywhere I went. Every
Yeah.
time she was with me, she was just with me. And so I was outside smoking, and she was following me, of course. And it was cold, and the puff, from the air because it was cold. I
Yeah.
was smoking, and then she saw her puffing, with because of the cold air. She's all, look, Nina. Nina is godmother in Spanish. I'm smoking too, and she was like 3 or 4, and I'm like, no, no. She's all,
Wow.
but you do, and I'm like, oh, damn it. That's why I
Yeah.
didn't have any kids. I don't want
Yeah.
this crap.
Right. Right. uh,
So that was the path of me quitting smoking because I'm
wow.
like, monkey see, monkey do, man.
Yeah.
And how can I say no smoking when I'm sitting there puffing away?
Yeah.
And and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm addicted to something. I'm an
Yeah.
addict, and
Yeah.
it really was because it was like by the grace of God, and I was constantly on my knees.
Yeah.
That was the only way that I was able to quit
Yeah.
because it was horrible because I
Yeah.
couldn't do the patches because it burned my skin.
Yeah.
I couldn't do the gum because it was just too much, and I was,
Yeah.
gonna have a heart attack. So I had to quit cold turkey.
Wow.
So I was dying. It was so horrible,
Yeah.
and but I was able to do it. Like I said, by the grace of God.
Do you remember when you well, two questions. Do you remember when you smoked your last cigarette?
I
And do you
do.
remember when the struggle was over? Because those are two different things.
Oh, exactly. My favorite holiday is Halloween. So when my nieces and nephews, we'd all get together and we'd go trick or treating from Grandma and Grandpa's house. So we went on Halloween. We took the kids, they got them all sugared up. Yay!
Yeah.
It's kind of like a little family get together. And I was on my mom and dad's back patio having a cigarette, and my brother comes out and he's all, "Hey, we were just talking," and I'm like, I said, "That's my last cigarette," and he started laughing. He goes, "Yeah, right. That's your last cigarette." I said, "No, I'm quitting smoking.
Mm,
Halloween's my favorite holiday, so I want to quit on my favorite holiday, and this is my last cigarette."
yeah.
And that
Wow.
was my last cigarette.
Wow.
So that's my I remember that last cigarette because I didn't want to quit smoking. I totally love smoking,
Yeah.
but I knew I had to because I wanted to set a good example for my nieces and
Yeah.
nephews. And so then I would have to say about a year later is when I could tell that I was going to be okay because it
Okay.
was terrible. The first 6 months was horrible. I would
Got
think about it when I woke up. I
it. Hmm.
would dream about it.
Yeah.
I would somebody would be smoking outside, I'd smell it.
Yeah.
It was really hard. So I'd say about a year before it was like, oh, that's not my first thought.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And because you have to change your mindset of because you have control of that if you can just kind of change the narrative in your head, what your first thought is. And my first thought of the day was always coffee and a cigarette.
Yeah. Interesting.
That's how you wake up. And then I was also a person that would wake up in the middle of the night and have cigarettes because I would be going through the withdrawals, which I didn't think I was, but
Oh,
and I would
really?
wake up in the middle of the night and have a cigarette, sometimes
Okay.
two, depending on what was happening.
Okay.
Because cigarettes are your reward. It's your coping mechanism, and it's social because there's people who when you smoke with people outside, it's a social thing, and you have different friends that smoke or family members.
Yeah.
It's there's a different you have a I want to say brotherhood, but you kind of are drawn to people who smoke, and you have that you get close to people like that. So those people that would smoke, I wouldn't be around them because it was my mom and dad smoked at that time, but so I was around them, but I didn't go around outside of that
Yeah.
because it was too hard.
Yeah.
So for at least the first year.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. Only if I drink too much. If I
Okay.
drink a lot, where I'm like, really, that's too much drinking, I'll want a really bad cigarette.
Yeah. But well, let me ask you, well, have you did it before when you did drink a lot and then was able to be like, that was just that time?
No,
Okay, good, good,
no,
good.
no, because I knew it'd be like Lay's potato chips.
Yeah,
Just one, and I'd start again.
yeah,
And
yeah.
and I would never. The backstory on that is when I quit smoking 3 years after, maybe close to 4 years, my niece at a year old was diagnosed with liver cancer.
Wow.
And during that time, she died at 18 months. But during that 6 months, I didn't know if I could handle it without cigarettes. The cigarettes were coming back because that's my coping mechanism.
Right.
And then when she passed and went through all of that hell, I'm going to use hell. Um, it was eye opening for me because I'm like, you know what? You got through Melinda's death and sickness and family and your brother, and because it was my brother's daughter,
Yeah,
you got through all that and you were able to not have to lean on that for your coping mechanism. So
yeah,
now, if I ever feel that way, it's like, you know what? I'm not doing this because I'm honoring my niece by not doing this.
yeah,
Nieces, I should say, but I think about Melinda, my niece, and I didn't have to do that in order to. I didn't have to go down that train again, which would have been easy
yeah,
at that time. But I decided, I'm not doing that.
yeah,
Can't do that. I've
yeah.
suffered enough.
Right, right, right. To open that door back up.
Yeah, you just got to just keep the volt on that one because it's once you open that door, you're back.
So, what do you do now to deal with stressors when it happened in your life? I know you like golfing, and how do you stay focused on the tools that you have now that help you deal with stress that stop you from going back to nicotine?
I like music.
Okay,
I love live music. That's one of my
okay,
favorite things. I like doing that. I like spending time with family and friends.
hmm
Like this month, I have a cousin who's going to have a big, we do a lot of big family parties. Having a
okay,
family party this month with my cousin who's more like my sister. We're
okay,
10 and a half months apart.
okay, okay,
So she's having a birthday party, a big birthday party. And so we like to listen to music and dance.
yeah,
So I try to get together with there's four of us that get together and try to do something at least every other month. Our
okay,
plan is always a month, but between family and other commitments, we're able to at least get together every other month. And
yeah,
so this month we're going to have that party for my cousin, and that's going to be a celebration, and I look forward to those times,
yeah,
and I bring those memories back. But on the same note, music is my daily thing. So I
Yeah.
have music going all the time, not
Yeah.
only in my head, but even when I'm working on the computer, I'll have music on.
Yeah.
That is my reset, so to speak.
Yeah. Okay. Um, what are some things that people can do, um, or what advice would you give people who are may have some stress going on in their lives, whether it's work, personal, but they want to go and use nicotine as their coping mechanism. Like, what would you tell them? Because obviously you understand that struggle, right?
I
So, what
do
advice would you give them?
that, and they say nicotine is just as bad as heroin to get off of because
Yeah,
it's so addictive. Um, my advice to anybody who's trying to quit or trying a different mechanism is to try to find out what works for them.
yeah,
Whether it's writing, because a lot of times I did a lot of journaling, writing, I did a lot of walking.
yeah,
Um, find the thing that works for you that takes your mind off that smoking. So like in the mornings, instead of at the beginning, instead of having the the cigarette and then the coffee, I would have the coffee, but then I'd go for a walk
mm,
because your whole body changes when you have a cigarette. It
yeah,
gets, you get all those stimulants and everything. But having a walk will do the same thing. I mean, it doesn't feel as great, but it will
yeah,
eventually. But at the beginning, it's really hard. But the thing that helped me a lot when I quit smoking, and this might seem kind of harsh, sugar-free Altoids. I put
okay,
like five in my mouth when the the nicotine urge would be at its worst. Because nicotine, what it does is it gets really intense where it goes up, 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 but eventually it's going to come down.
yes,
It's going to come down. So you have to believe that and know that it's gonna sustain. But if
yeah,
it lies to you and says all you have to do is just have one and you'll be okay. But
hmm,
if you can get through that struggle, I would throw like five Altoids in and just, I mean, because it burns.
yeah,
It burns
yeah,
your mouth. So it keeps you in check and
yeah,
doesn't make you go to that
yeah,
spot. So
yeah,
that's I five Altoids. So I went through a lot of sugar free Altoids.
yeah. So do you feel like that's a mental health battle? Um, trying to not go back to something that could potentially be harmful to your health. Would you say that's like a battle in the mind?
Well, I think eventually, well, it has been for me.
Yeah,
It's once you've gone through that really dark road that you have to go through and the journey that you have to go through, and it's usually by yourself. Even though
yeah,
you have tools and you have people that'll help you, you still have to go through it in with you. You
yeah,
have to be going through that battle, but you got to make sure you have all that armor on you so you
yeah,
can get through that battle. In
yeah.
my case, I think it's been 27 years, I think, since I quit smoking,
Wow.
maybe
Yeah,
28.
yeah,
And so I know that I've reached that end of that battle, so to speak, the really heavy fighting in me. I know
yeah,
I could go back easily, but you just have to just keep knowing that, just keep going forward. Because if you go down that one crooked road, you're back at the beginning again. And I
yeah,
remind myself that if I take that one cigarette or that one puff, I have to start my journey again.
yeah,
And why would I do that
yeah,
after all this time? But
yeah,
it happens, and I understand that.
yeah,
And if it happens with somebody who's kind of slipped back, just continue what you were doing before. What triggered you to do that? What
yeah,
can you do so that doesn't happen again? What
yeah,
tool do you need in your toolbox to help you and help you get past that this next time? Because it's always going to be gnawing at you. It's
yeah.
going to always gnaw at you. But
Hmm.
the key is to try to have something in your toolbox that works. Not everyone has the same tools. Not
Yeah,
everyone has the same things that will work. But find what those things work in your toolbox in order
yeah,
for you to succeed.
yeah. And I like that you said that because not everybody have the same struggle either. And what you said is applicable to someone who may be trinket, or someone who may be in a DV situation, or someone who may be in a relationship that's with a friend who just used them for their money. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because those are all addictions too in their own
Right.
way,
Mm-hmm.
and a negative thing that's happening in your life.
Right.
And
Right.
like in the terms of your brother, going back
Yeah.
to him, he doesn't know what his positive things are yet.
I was just thinking that when that's why I said what I said exactly.
Yeah, because he's still learning, and he's
Yeah.
still trying to understand himself.
Yeah.
And eventually, since you put the seeds in, he'll
Yeah.
know what is positive and what is negative.
Yeah.
Right now, he's learning the negative things, and you have to just sit and watch and let it
Yeah.
happen, unless something
Yes.
really bad happens, like
Yeah.
felonies or whatever. But
Yeah.
then of course, you're going to step in. That's something totally different. But
Yeah.
him learning what he needs to know is a positive relationship is
Yeah.
something that he has to learn.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Dana, thank you so much. This was one of the better shows with you. I love the fact that we was able to share different experience and be very organic about our experience, and being able to be open and honest and vulnerable, especially with me, with my brother. But I do appreciate you, and I do appreciate you sharing the information you share. You have a lot of knowledge, super, super,
Oh,
smart.
thank you. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
been a lot of journey walks.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Your brother will get there.
Yeah,
He will get there because
I'm,
you're there with him.
yes, exactly.
You are there with him. He's
Yeah,
not doing this on his own. And that's
exactly.
and that's what's so important about mentoring.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
especially in the relationships that we have in our work,
Yeah,
our line of work, you have to mentor.
yeah,
And well, you hope that you can mentor
yeah,
because we all have these journeys and we can share those with them. And
yeah,
if they're real, then people will believe you.
yeah, exactly.
You can't make up stuff.
Right, exactly.
And because people will know that.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Thank you so much. And I'm going to close us out. But once again, thank you for coming through.
You're welcome.
That's it for this edition of Mental Health Matters. If you enjoyed this particular show, if you would like a DVD copy of this show, or if you would like to be a guest on our show, please dial 916-366-4600. Thank you.